Hi, my name is Julia Beck, and I am the Vice President of Networks at Project WET, which means that I have the privilege of working with our partners all over the world to deliver the Project WET program. So I'm just going to take a few minutes here to explain a little bit about who we are and what we do. So let me go ahead and get the presentation started. All right. So Project WET is water education today, and our mission is to advance water education to understand global challenges and inspire local solutions. We really want every child or every person to have an understanding about where their water comes from, about water systems in order to come up with those solutions for the future. So our story actually starts in North Dakota, which is a state in the northern US where our founder was born and raised, and he grew up on a farm there. And when he was growing up, his farm didn't have a lot of water, but his grandparents' farm just down the road had plenty of water, and he never understood why that was. And it wasn't until he got older and learned a bit more about groundwater that he learned that his farm was on a glacial moraine. And he thought, if I had understood groundwater as a child, that maybe I wouldn't have had these concerns about our farm and water. And so he eventually founded what became eventually Project WET. He started it in 1984 in North Dakota and brought it over to Montana. And here we are in 2021, over 35 years later, and it grew organically, and now Project WET is active in all 50 US states and 80 countries around the world. And what's so unique about Project WET, and specifically about the topic of water that we teach about, is that it is found in everything, right? Water is in everything we eat. It's in everything we use. It's in our bodies. So it is naturally an interdisciplinary subject, and it relates to anything. So we teach about all different topics of water, chemical and physical properties, watershed health, health and sanitation and hygiene, climate change, everything. And that really can fit into many different subjects, from math to history to social studies, and of course, science. So Project WET teaches people how to think and not what to think, and that's really important. So what we do is we have these hands-on activities that teachers and students use to figure out answers for themselves. So they do this, they ask questions, and they discover the answer. They discover the processes as they go through it. It's what's called inquiry-based learning. And that makes us a really fun organization, but also a very effective organization in teaching. And our educational experience is grounded in 3 different aspects. So we publish these high quality publications that include educator guides on various topics. So the main ones that we sell in the US are our main A to Z guide on all different topics. We have an early childhood guide, and we also now have a climate resilience guide. But we do also have other ones as well that you can find on our store if you're interested in looking. And we have these colorful student booklets. And of course, we pair these with professional development trainings for teachers all over the world. And in doing this, we're helping teachers to, one, understand the processes and the science behind it, but also how it relates to what they're teaching, their programs, and how to use these fun activities with the students that they work with. And then, of course, we have supporting resources behind all of that. So we want to make sure that our educators are supported. We want to make sure that teachers and students have what they need. And so we have a lot of different resources on our website, and a lot of different resources that we're continually putting out there to support our network. The way that we deliver our training is through a network. So we have partners all over the world. And there is a partner organization in Spain now, in northern Spain for Southern Europe. And this organization will train other trainers, and together they will train educators who can use the activities in the program with students year after year after year. And we work with educators of all types. So sometimes that's formal schools, and sometimes that's informal schools. About 40% of our educators, so almost half, are non-formal, working in nature centers and parks and after school programs. Through this model, we're able to reach millions of people every year through our network. We're actually a very small staff located here in Montana, in Bozeman, Montana. There's only about 7 of us, but through all of our partners, we can educate 2.5 million people. So in 2019 alone, we educated 2.5 million people. And you can see that internationally through our international network, that was almost 500,000 people. And that's growing all the time. I don't feel like I would be doing education justice if I didn't discuss climate or COVID right now and the reality of what's happened in the world with education and how everything has changed and how we have had to change. So we went from these hands-on group setting, interactive activities and experiences to what has become a very virtual world and to these distance learning activities that we've had to adapt to. But we always want to maintain that fun aspect, that hands-on fun aspect, and that aha moment that we have here. And we've worked really hard to do that over the last year. So we've developed quite a few resources for distance learning. Luckily, we already have had our website, discoverwater.org, that is in Spanish, Mandarin, and English. And there's a variety of different activities on there for learners to explore, as well as resources for educators to use with their students. We have developed home and distance learning resources with a variety of different student lessons and ideas on how educators can use activities with students over a distance. And now that we're coming into this post-pandemic era, we're expanding those virtual offerings. Digital education is not going away. We cannot wait to get back to hands-on in-person learning, but we know that we need to keep up with the trends. And so we are offering more educator trainings virtually now, and as well as expanding our virtual offerings for students. And our newest one is launching now. It's called Wet Connect. I urge you to go to our website and check out the video, very short video that explains it there, but you can view all of our virtual resources in a library, basically, for both educators and students. So this is great. Like, Project Wet has all these resources to teach about water. Well, okay, why should I? Why should I care about teaching about water? What does that matter to any of you, right? And I want you just to think about what the world would look like. Imagine if every child learned where their water came from. If we all understood when we turn on a faucet where our water comes from and the watershed that we live in. Imagine what education could be if teachers used water as the foundation for STEM education. It's a perfect topic to integrate all disciplines. Imagine if learning about water was a part of every school's curricula and every child learned about water, grew up understanding the watershed they live in. Imagine a world where everyone learned about climate change in school, that we all understood the science behind it and the justice issues that go with it. And then imagine a society where environmental justice is incorporated into education and we understand the disparities when it comes to water. Finally, imagine a world where children learn water science in preschool and start understanding water in the world around them as young as 3 years old. These are the types of visions that we have, and we believe that in delivering water education, that we can accomplish this eventually. The first step in creating a better water future is a clear understanding of the issues today. And that is what we hope, is that anybody who takes our trainings, who goes through our program, has a clear understanding of the issues and then works forward to solve those into the future. So thank you all so much for your interest in Project Wet. Very excited to have our partners in Spain now out there working for Southern Europe and getting the program out there. And I hope that I can help support in any way that I can.